Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. See here on the screen, I got my standard hostile crew up here. Janeway, Enterprise, Data, and Naismith. Oh, but look, there's more color down here, isn't there? Lots of color compared to everybody else. Kind of neat. Yes, I unlocked Masriad Vael. You know how I am with Star Trek names. Probably the most terriblest pronunciation in the history of terrible pronunciations. Taking a look at her officer ability. On combat start against invading entities, increase apex barrier by 500%, 5,000 at max. Yay! It's the greatest officer ability ever! Okay. Only against invading entities. Well, I mean, if you really need that, then there you go. But I have a funny feeling that nobody is going to be using that ability. Mostly because of what her below deck ability is. Remember, I guess, last month when the officers came out. Josh Torah and Toli, somebody. Again, I'm terrible with names. I said that one thing that crew lacked was a critical chance officer. I also said the other thing that it lacked is a mitigation officer. Doesn't look like we're getting the mitigation officer, but we're getting the critical chance officer here. When hit by an armada or hostile, increase critical hit chance by 4%. 12% at max. For 4 rounds. So, this is going to stack, but only 4 rounds. And you know how I like to say, assuming you listen to me and watch my videos, when it says that for 4 rounds, really only getting the benefit of 3 rounds. But it does stack for 4 rounds. But again, you're only actually going to see the benefit of 3 rounds. But still, that's kind of a lot, right? Now, I'm sure a lot of us don't have her at max, but I mean, 4%, think you get hit twice a round, so that's 8% a round. 3 rounds, that's 24%. Pretty good. I mean, especially in an armada that goes, 10 rounds maybe, depending on you and how you engage with armadas. Hostiles? Depends on the hostile, really. I mean, some of these hostiles shoot you 5 times in a round. That's 20% a round. So, very good ability. And luckily for you all, the spend event is still going. And, maybe, lucky for you, depending on how you see it, the heroic milestone for Miss Vael here has been increased more, as in they added milestones. So, they essentially doubled. They doubled it, right? But they split it into two different milestones, so you could get a whole nother 50 shards of her. I mean, kind of depends on where you are at. Where I'm at, no. I would love to, but the numbers for me are very high. Very high. But let's check her out. Let's see her in action. Send her. Oh, I actually wanted to talk about the rest of the crew a lot. Or maybe not a lot, just mention it, right? Because it is something other people ask. Obviously, I'm going to go hit freebooters with her, because that's a main thing that a lot of people still need to hit. A 61 or higher, not really, but everybody else, yeah, you want to be hitting your freebooters. Your faction kill dailies, your freebooter dailies, your swarm dailies, you can get the benefit all from that, from killing 8 freebooters. Yeah, kill freebooters. Torres below deck. Yeah, she's at max. You could get that hull breach. Increase your crit damage. Troy here. Increase your crit damage. Paris here for your mitigation. Chapel here for some more isolated cascade. Because apparently I got enough with Janeway and Enterprise data on the bridge. Miss Vael here for critical chance. Notice there's no Hugh. She's taking a place of Hugh. We'll see how that goes. Mr. Alan Rickman here for speed. And no, this is not for protected cargo. This is for defense. See? Almost 100,000 defense. Because that's what Paris uses. And yeah, I'm at that point. By all means, send the hate mail. I figured that. But yeah, I have been using Borg to Pring, I don't remember her number, to stack defense below for mitigation. I haven't been using her for protected cargo because I don't really care anymore about protected cargo. For me, the ships are doing it on their own. And even if I put her on the ship, it just wouldn't, it's not going to increase a warship's protected cargo that much, so I don't really care. And I'll actually show you the 3 cool miners now. I got the trio. I send here to the freebooters. And yes, I am using my Cerritos to kill freebooters. Do I? No. Trying to limit my power to try to show off Vael's ability. This isn't a test or anything. This is a demonstration. But, if I bring my Rotaran in there, it's just going to crush it by itself. You're not going to see Vael activate. Well, let's take a look at these miners. They're cool looking. That is kind of why I wanted to get them. I do think they are somewhat neat looking. 1.72 million protected cargo. That's without a protected cargo officer on the ship. 2 million here. 1.1 here. This one's only tier 3. I don't need protected cargo on these guys anymore. Now on the Selkie, yeah, sure, I could probably use some protected cargo, but at the same time, I don't actually need to mine that much G6. It's like 60,000, which takes 3 or 4 hours. How much longer do I want to stay out there on a node? So, I have used Borg to Pring on this ship to do my mining dailies, but I don't often. But I do, occasionally. Alright, on to the Vael test. Well, because I am an explorer, let's hit some... What are these, interceptors? Yeah, some of these interceptors just to get the ball rolling here. See that I can win. Does take some shield damage, but that is because of Janeway. Wait, didn't I click on you? Let's go, Kirashara, you jackass. I just killed 3 of them with my Cerrito. I'll go to the battle log, but let's kill some explorers and let's kill some battleships, assuming I can. See how it goes, because it took a little more of that damage that time, I think. But, I killed that battleship. I'm not even at half hull yet. How many kills was that? 5? I'm already at 5 kills. Mouse doesn't seem to be running as smoothly. The Logitech didn't even need mouse pads, but I need a mouse pad. I probably have an old mouse pad. Muttering to myself. I'm doing it. Look at this. Yes, I'm taking a lot more damage than I normally take. I'm using a Cerrito. The Cerrito is not designed for combat. Even like a Valdor should be able to handle these fine because the Valdor was designed for combat. The number of weapons it has, its defensive capabilities, the fact that it is a faction ship and gets that benefit from those researches. Cerritos doesn't have that much benefit. That doesn't have that much combat research benefit. At least not as much as, let's say, another faction warship. I think I've lost count now how many I killed. Whole bunch of freebooters. And there are a bunch of broken parts. Alright, so let's go and look at... Let's take a look at the battleship one, since giving up the triangle advantage. Yeah, did kind of take the shields down a bit. Did take a nice chunk out of the hull, but if you only need to kill 10, that's a perfectly reasonable amount. Let's take a look at the battle. 14 rounds. Wow. Okay, there's the isolated cascade. There's a barrier. Critical damage increase. Paris. Chapel. Torres. Here's me getting hit. Here's my Cerritos firing. Not doing that much damage. Janeway's captain ability popping. Miss Vael's ability popping here. Boom, look at that. A critical hit right off the bat. Now I got a base of what? 22%. Then whatever my research is adding maybe gets up to 30%. So there's probably a one-off chance that, you know, the next hit was going to be a critical hit after getting Vael. But I get hit again. Vael pops. I got hit here. Then I hit again. I might need to change the batteries in the mouse. So, I mean, how many... not even... I honestly can't even remember how many different weapons the freebooters fire. Well, that was... Let's count. 1, 2 for this weapon. 3 here for that weapon. This is just a weapon with multiple shots. There's 4. And there's 5. And then this weapon fires the round's over. So I don't get it because it's the next round. I guess. Oh no, I got it at the start of the next round. So that's a good thing, right? That is something that I've definitely talked about in the past. Something that activates on a weapon from your opponent. They get the last shot in a round. Do you want this popping here, or do you want to pop it? Well, you want to pop it in the next round, and you know what? It does. So how about that? Another round of freebooter firing. Look, critical hits for me. Critical hit for me. Critical hit for me. Oh, look, there's one that wasn't a critical hit, but how many critical hits did I just fire? A lot. Getting in round 3. Critical hits. Critical. Weapon needs a charge because, of course... Critical hit for me. Another one. So then it was 4 critical hits. It is something about the freebooters. They were meant to do somewhat low damage, but do a lot of shots and have somewhat high hull. And what was it? Their increased mitigation or something that makes Moreau not work. Their piercing stats. Their piercing stats are really high, so Moreau doesn't work. That was something that was their niche or what have you. But it seems Vael worked very nicely against freebooters. Just as good as Hugh. Now, who's better? I don't know. Right? I mean, Hugh is a percentage chance to give you 25% critical chance. The 25% critical chance will stay the same no matter what tier he is. The percentage that is likely to happen is the thing that's going to change. At max, it's 100%. At tier 4, he's 70%. At tier 3, he's 60%. I think tier 2 is 50% and tier 1 is 40%. Something like that. Sounds close to right. Been a while for me. But while maybe it's a little better with Hugh against freebooters, because you got to think after round 1, you're probably at max critical hits. But at the same time, wouldn't you like another Hugh? Isn't that something that some of us have been thinking about? Ooh, it would be nice to have another officer that was as good as getting a critical chance for you as Hugh is. Well, now we got it. You want to go into freebooter land and dual wield with 2 ships. Maximize the amount of broken parts that you can get per your time. Do you want another critical chance officer for wave defenses? Sure. More critical hits, more damage. Quicker you kill the enemy in, like, say, a wave defense, the more hull health you have for another enemy. And there's lots of enemies in wave defense. Very useful there. So while, yes, we already kind of do have an officer that does what Miss Vael does, at the same time, could we use another one? Could we have used another one? Yes. And doubling the fact that she works in armadas. That's great too. Look, I know we got Cisco, and I know we got Chakotay, and I know we got Khan, he works in armadas. And Enterprise Riker. Yes, Enterprise Riker, his officer ability, activates in armadas. Does having Vael work as well? Is that beneficial to you? Yeah. Hell, you can put them all on the ship. So, you got all these different shots, all these different critical hits. Could increase your ability to do armadas and your ability to do hostiles. So is Masriad Vael a good officer? Yes. Am I telling you to go do this heroic milestone right now? No, I'm not. Because I don't know what it is for you, but I mean, it's kind of nice that they did it, but my original heroic milestone was 44.5 million for my 50 shards. Another 22 million to get another 25 shards. Another 44.5 million to get 50 shards. I'm not so sure I'm going to do that. But is this a good officer to do something like that for? Sure. Absolutely. Now, the more points you spend this week, less points you can spend in another one, technically, right? So, that's something you're going to have to decide. But I do think the officer abilities, the below deck ability, I think it's worth it. I don't know about the officer ability. It's a lot like Hugh. How good is Hugh for you? How good would it be? How nice would it be? How much enjoyable would your gameplay be if you had another officer that could do very similar thing that Hugh does, and also be able to do it in Armada? Sounds very nice to me. Comment below. What do you think about Vael and her critical chance ability? Is it better than Hugh's or not? If you unlocked her. Does the fact that they extended this milestone or added milestones to that, does that make you want to spend more and get more shards of her? What do you think about her officer ability? I don't know if I buy more Apex Barrier against invading entities is really useful at all. I don't. However, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.